We're back for round 2 in one day.
Yeah, we are actually. Yeah, round 2.
Yes, we are. And we just did the chicken Sammy review, and I am, like you said, ready for a nap.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to power through this interview, though, because I am pretty excited about it. We got a really, really good one on the books. We just met this guy in person, what, Jim, 3 weeks ago, down in Miami at Coyo Taco. Thank you, Alicia. And we're talking about Felipe down there in Miami. Started with the company. I actually got the numbers from Ann. It's like his year anniversary, like this week.
Really?
Yeah. If you check the numbers, his first delivery with us was May 7th of 2021. So we're actually like exactly a year. I don't know if we'll bring that up to him and see if he's aware of that or not, but great guy.
Perfect.
Yeah, great guy. Had a great time with him down in Miami. Introduced us to some Cuban delicacies, I'll say, some colada.
Like a restaurant?
No. So we had colada, which is like a Cuban coffee. It's like basically like espresso, I think, like basically like juiced up. Like you literally take it in like these little tiny, like almost like coffee creamer cups, like, little creamer cups. Like that's what you pour it in. And you just drink like one little one of them.
So you don't drink coffee and it has caffeine. It's coffee, right? Is it espresso?
It's made from a coffee bean, I imagine.
Did it give you like a jolt?
I only had like half of one. Jim had like 2 or 3.
Jim, is it caffeinated? Like it gave you a jolt? What was it? Did it taste good?
Oh yeah, they mix in sugar in it, so it's like sweeter than an espresso. So
Where'd you get it?
You can only get it in Miami.
Yeah, we did. They just we were at Coyo with the recruiting event at the time, and they just diddled on down to the a place around the block and got it. And then we had a second thing. I think it was called what was this? Croquetas. That's what Felipe introduced us to us as well. So those were super, super good. And yes, I mean he just joined the room. Do we just want to get into the interview now?
Let's just get right into it.
Felipe, can you hear us? All right, it looks like he just joined the room, T. So let's get these headphones off and we'll welcome in our boy Felipe.
All right, let's do it.
What's up, Felipe?
Good afternoon, guys. How you guys doing, man?
We're
Happy
good, dude.
Friday.
Thanks for taking your time out on a beautiful Friday. I'm sure it's down there in Miami. What's the weather like down there today?
Oh, right now, man, it's a little cloudy, but this morning we were in the pool. We were in the pool since like 9:30 until about an hour ago. It was beautiful, man. Warm water. It was nice.
What's the temperature like? Like 90s?
Today was this morning was actually in the 72 this morning. It was actually pretty cold, for Miami,
yeah.
But in the afternoon, the sun came out and it was about like 85. Yeah.
That's
he's a little bit bipolar. Now it's kind of raining a little bit. Now it's kind of raining and stuff, but let's see how the afternoon is, man.
Yeah, I think it's right around the same temperature up here right now. So maybe just a little more humid up here. It gets
pretty humid down there too.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah, the humidity is not great down there either. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. No, it's a beautiful morning.
Do you go out there and collect the coconuts or anything like that down there in Miami? You go to the farmers markets?
I'm scared of heights, but I do know a good place there by the beach that has really cheap and fresh coconuts. When you go to the beach, you see the guys on ladders,
yeah,
and you see them with like a truck bed down there by the beach, just throwing coconuts down to each other,
yeah,
putting them in the bed. Yeah, it's nice, man. It's crazy.
I feel like that's the benefit of the guys who work landscaping down there is they just get to keep the coconuts.
I tell you that, yes, sir.
That's wild. I never heard about that.
Yeah. I mean, people don't want them. We used to go in people's yards when we lived there and just cut the coconuts down, but or ask them, then we just take like literally like 50 from one tree.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What people do is the mango. Now it's mango season, so now at least in my neighborhood, you just walk down the streets and you just see mangoes hanging out, and it's like they're hanging on the sidewalk, so it's not
free range.
Yeah, they're for the picking, and those mangoes are wow.
No way.
Awesome. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's wild.
Yeah. Right here in my complex, we have a little tree in the back, and they have a couple mangoes on it already. So when I walk the dog, got to scope it out.
Dang.
Yeah, and make sure you know what you can go grab later after you take the dog back.
When they start getting right.
Quick. That's not a bad idea. That's awesome. Again, we appreciate you joining us here today, and we usually like to start with a little bit like pre-deliver that. So I think I was just telling Tristan, and I don't know if you were aware of this before, but we run the numbers on like the delivery count you've done and the total food delivered. And you started with DeliverThat like this time last year, almost like to the date. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yes. I was thinking about it the other day. It was like around March or April, right? Around that time.
I had it as May 7th. So literally like 6 days ago on our end.
That's crazy. And I remember I was telling you when I met you in Miami, how I started, how I saw you guys. I was had started with originally with Delivered, and then I was just like, man, there has to be someone doing this bigger and better. I'm like, there has to be. And that was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I'm tossing in bed. I'm looking at partners with Easy Catering, how to do deliveries with Easy Catering, and you guys popped out. I was looking at it and I was like, man, you got to pay. I'm like, you know what? If this is a scam, so be it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to go for it. And I woke up and I think it was actually Ben or Tristan. I think one of you guys, they picked up like at 8 o'clock in the morning. As soon as I woke up, I'm like, hey, so I saw your website. I paid the admission fee. How can I get online? And you guys were like, give us a second. And man, in 15 minutes, you guys call me back and say, hey, man, you look good to go. We ran everything. That same day, I had 3 orders.
Wow.
That same day, I'll never forget it. That same day, I took 3 orders or like 2 orders on my first day. And I was like, man, I knew it. This is amazing, you know? And ever since then, I've honestly been sticking with you guys, you know? You guys are a majority of my week. Like right now here in Miami, it's 2:19. At 5, I got to be in Coyo Taco. With shout out to Coyo Taco, one of the best, most organized, amazing restaurants with amazing managers in Miami. I will tell you guys that, but I'm doing an order for them. I'm going to a wedding. I've actually never been to a wedding, so that's going to be my first time at a wedding.
Oh, you should stay and party.
What?
You should stay at the wedding and party.
Yeah, let's see. But man, it's going to be great, you know? It's a beautiful experience, man, honestly. Like, I'm more than grateful, more than happy, just since day one.
Well, finding you as well, we're just as happy because you're a gem, you know, out there. And let me tell you why. The data we have right now is just in the past year, because you got the whole year, right, Ben?
Yeah, this is from May 7th to May 10th of this year, so just like a couple of days ago.
We have 300 deliveries taken.
Wow.
And $50,000 worth of that's total food cost delivered. Wow. In just a year's time.
Wow.
So you're out there busy.
Yeah, almost. And our weekends, everyone knows, are a little slower, and he's still almost averaging a delivery a day. So that's pretty wild.
Yep.
I try my best, man. I love it, man. Like, and being a beautiful city like Miami, it's just, how can you not want to be in the street all day? Like, you know, it's beautiful people, beautiful weather.
It's a busy place out there too. And you know, we hear a lot about like traffic and things like that, but you just seem to make it work.
Yes, man. I grew up all over Miami, honestly. So if you don't know the back streets, you're gonna spend a little bit of time in traffic. So, you know, if you're a little bit familiar, I try my best. So, you know, I know this street at 5 p.m. is a no-go. I go through the back. It might be a little bit longer distance, but you'll get there faster.
Wow. Okay. Knowing the area.
That's good to know. Yeah, that's like something we probably hear from a few different drivers, right? Knowing the area is always going to be helpful. And what you mentioned another company you were working for before you found DeliverThat. How'd you actually get into the gig work itself? What were you doing before this, and how'd you end up getting to this point?
Yeah, so so I've been doing deliveries for about 5 years. So when I was 17, I started for a distribution food company called ADL Delivery Service here. We had to be there 6 days a week. We had to be there 4 o'clock in the morning, had to be there. So you had to be up in your house by 3 a.m. And we worked like until the day ended. If it was 5 p.m. and we were still working, you know, and
Jeez.
I was trying to move out by myself with my wife now, you know, so I had to do what I had to do. So I was out there doing deliveries for a couple of years. I became general manager of that company. That company got bankrupt. As soon as that happened, 3 other companies were already, hey, we want you, you know, come over here. I ended up in GBM doing the same thing. But man, after I had my daughter, it was just, I want to have more time for the family, you know? You want to have more time to enjoy this beautiful city, to meet more time with my wife, just to be home, you know? And my uncle was telling me, hey, I'm working for this gig company called Deliver. And he kind of gave me that edge and that push where he was like, hey, bro, you got to do it, man. You need more time. Like, you're calling me every day, you're stressed out. You're calling me every day, you're miserable. Just make the jump, man. He's like, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out, you go back. And honestly, I threw myself into the lake and now I'm already in the ocean. So,
so you went from this full-time then position where you're working these crazy hours and, you know, now you're working. I mean, is it just DeliverThat? Are you doing other gig work as well?
I was doing Uber Eats, a little bit of Uber Eats and DoorDash and stuff. But honestly, right now it's been like since January, since after the holidays, that I've honestly just been doing DeliverThat. I work with my uncle a couple times in the afternoon. He has like a little moving company, So it's amazing that I get to work with a family member of mine. I'm really comfortable with him, and then I get to do my DeliverThat first, and everything else is extra. You know what I'm saying? So I have like, you guys are basically like my full time. To me, I consider you guys my full time, my priority job. So everything I do on that is extra, and I'm just loving it. Honestly, have no complaints.
I think one thing a lot of the viewers would be interested in, considering you're saying you're doing the DeliverThat the full time, is how do you make that work? How do you get the amount of deliveries? How do you find the right deliveries that pay the right amount so you can pay your bills, so you can make a living doing that? Do you have any tricks or the trade to do things like that?
First of all, you have to be on your phone active, man. If you're gonna be someone that you want to do these side gigs, you want to do these, because now in the time we live in, everything, you can make so much money on your phone just by having a phone. You can make accounts everywhere. You can find gigs. You can find people that want their house clean, anything, etc. So if you know that you're a gig worker, and this is my livelihood right here. Without the phone, right? I'm on my phone. My wife hates it sometimes. Sometimes I even hate it. But man, you have to be on the phone. You have to have your phone up, your notifications on. When you see that notification for DeliverThat, you have to click it. Doesn't matter whatever you're doing. You're playing a Clash of Clans, whatever you're doing, you have to. Whatever you're doing, it's not as important as getting your bills paid. So that's what I try to do. I've noticed a couple key times that the orders come in. I can't tell you all my secrets.
Right.
I've noticed a couple key times that the order that especially every single day, Monday to Friday, these orders are coming in at this exact same time. So I already have that in my head. Hey, this time gotta be on DeliverThat. You know what I'm saying? That movie's not as important as DeliverThat. Whatever I'm doing, So I try to do that as best as I can. And something else is, try to be the best you can, so restaurants will refer you. If the restaurant sees that you're there on time, if the restaurant sees that you handle their food with care, because at the end of the day, you're representing that restaurant and DeliverThat. If you mess up someone's order, if you bring their food upside down, they're gonna be like, hey, I'm never ordering from this place again. So the restaurant loses business, we lose business. It's a lot to consider. So you want to have your best presentation, a smile on your face, the food carefully delivered, beautifully placed. So they're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna order again. This was amazing. The food was great. The service was even better. So that's what I try to go for. Be the best I can. If I'm gonna do something, I gotta be on the top.
Yeah, and I gotta say too, the way you carry yourself, the way the way that you communicate with our dispatchers, you communicate with me over the past year, you're extremely friendly. You get out there, you get the job done. We can always trust you to do so. We don't think of drivers, and especially drivers like you, as like, oh, these are our drivers. We think this is our teammate. You know what I mean? You're out here getting the work done correctly. We got nothing to worry about. You know what you're supposed to do, and you get it done. And I mean, we really, really appreciate that.
No, thank you, man. It means a lot. I'm a people person. My first job was at Burger King. So if you work at Burger King, you have to be a people person. Let me tell you that. But, just seeing a smile on someone's face, makes me feel good. Makes me, it's a good day for everybody all around, honestly.
And you touched on that referral process a little bit. So I do want to kind of just hop into that. It's an easy train of thought to kind of continue down. And obviously, like you already mentioned, the Coyo Taco partnership we have with them directly. And you're one of the mainstay drivers. Alicia, their catering director, is always requesting. I think we have like one or two others here and there sometimes, but it's for the most part going to always be you, I think. But how did that relationship start for you? And then does that make things easier for you also? Like you said, you always have to have your phone on. You're always clicking the notifications, always waiting on the deliveries. What kind of relief do you get on your end too when you don't necessarily have to watch for those Coyo Taco deliveries? When they come in, for the most part, they're just going to get directly assigned to you because it already has your name in the instructions. Yes, or Alicia has already reached out to Cody and said, hey, we have a really important delivery this Saturday. Please make sure Felipe gets on it. So before you even have a chance to look at it, it's already on your account. You know what I mean? Does that relieve some pressure? Does that make things easier for you? Or let's just talk about the relationship you have with them a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, shout out to Elisa. Shout out to Coyo Taco. They are amazing. Just wanted to get that out there. But But yeah, it's honestly, it's amazing, you know. She's always communicating with me. Like you said, how did I meet her? I guess one day by accident they put her phone number on, on an order instead of the customer's phone number.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I called her. She's like, wrong person, but yeah, of course I can help you. You know, I'm the catering manager. And the next day she's like, hey, do you want to do this order for us? Can I refer you? I'm like, of course. And since that day, it's been a beautiful relationship. I appreciate everything she does for me. You know, she really has helped me out a lot. I will say that. And of course, it's amazing, you know, to know that you know that I'm doing such a great job. That such a big restaurant, an important restaurant like that in Miami, you know, wants me to deliver their food every single time, you know, and they trust me enough to send me to these beautiful events with these beautiful people. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you remember. I think I was talking to Tristan. That they had to go to the Heat Stadium. You know, that you know I couldn't go inside because of the COVID and stuff to meet the players. But I was in the player parking lot. You know, I looked to the side. It's just Ferraris, Rolls Royces, Bentleys, and I'm like, man, I know the Miami Heat players are driving in that. You know,
Wow.
and it's amazing just to be somewhere like that. And also, I went to the head office of Bacardi, of the rum company Bacardi.
Oh wow.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful 2-story office, like just gorgeous, you know. And it was a pleasure, you know, to be able to set up for an event like that, you know, for such a company like that. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Like
That's awesome.
Honestly.
That's only a few deliveries because obviously, and we'll talk about the trip we were just down there and how we met Felipe face to face for the first time. But when Jim and I took that delivery with you, that was. I mean, we can probably throw. I know the videos are already published and people can see the delivery that we went on, but that view from that office building, I think we were on like a 45th floor penthouse suite. It was an office, like it was a penthouse
they had
floor
the whole
though.
floor.
Video, yeah.
They had
It
the
was-
whole floor for them.
Yeah, it was wild. It was by far the most amazing delivery drop off I've been to, at least like view wise, and like the office was so clean. I remember at the end, right before we left. I don't know if it was Felipe personally, but like we were carrying out the boxes and there was like a little dribble of like sauce that dripped on the floor when we were walking out.
Yes.
And like immediately Jim, Felipe, and I all had the same reaction. We're like, oh
Napkins.
shoot, like we gotta clean up. Cause like Tristan, when I tell you this place was like, it was like marble flooring and it was bright
Everywhere.
white. It was
Gold
like,
detailing on the rails.
yeah, it was like
Beautiful.
blindingly bright
Yes.
white. Like it was so noticeable that we had spilled something on it. I immediately like ran up to the woman at the desk. I was like, "Do you have napkins? Anything?" Like hand Felipe wiped it up real quick. The guy, like the manager of the office, was like, "Oh, it's not a big deal," but like in the back of his mind, he was probably like, "What the hell are these guys doing? Like spilling stuff on my floor?" But
Yeah.
we got it cleaned up really quick. But that's the type of office it was. It was so nice, so pristine. The view like right over the ocean, so unbelievable.
Wow.
And I just imagine you're seeing that kind of stuff all the time, especially delivering for Coyo,
Yes.
because that's the kind of clientele they have.
Yes, I actually go to our federal courthouse, you know, which is amazing. It's an honor, you know, like to be able to, you know, be invited to somewhere like that to set up food for the judges, you know, our federal judges and
Wow.
prosecutors. Yeah, it's honestly like it's an honor to like, and it's beautiful office there on downtown. The view is spectacular. Talking about spectacular, and it's just everyone is so nice, and you meet these people. It's amazing, honestly. Like it's amazing. It's a privilege, to be honest.
That's what I was thinking. You know, you're going to all these great places. Like, maybe you already have, or maybe you will in the future. But you could probably make some connections that you could just never find anywhere else. I mean, you're at a federal courthouse. You get in with
Yes.
that judge. You know, you end up going to court one day. Hey, he did my catering 10 times.
That's
Hopefully
true.
I have-
You're not wrong.
Hopefully, I won't have to step in there, but yeah, but it's honestly it's a little intimidating when you go.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, if you guys have never driven over the border of Mexico and stuff, you know they check under your car and stuff like that. It's crazy, you know. But yeah, it's a privilege, you know, and I'm honestly so happy that Coyo Taco trusts me, you know, with a client like that, with one of their VIP clients like that. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I mean, that's huge, not to have just any face coming in there to deliver an order to a client
Yeah.
that's that important. So, and that's funny that the way that you met her over the phone like that.
Yeah, that is just like such a coincidence that ends up like flourishing into this like amazing relationship. Like yeah, I mean, just to say, like, how many other drivers have taken a Coyo delivery, but they don't have this direct relationship because they didn't just happen to have Alicia's phone number in their order. So like, and I mean, props to you though. You took advantage of the situation. Obviously, you stood out over the phone call. You're obviously reaching out to the customer like she appreciated and wants her drivers to do. She probably immediately was like, okay, this driver's doing that, so what else is he doing? Probably had a great conversation with you, and then it just leads to all these deliveries from there. So I mean, props to you for taking advantage of the situation.
That's honestly also one of the key things that you have to do. Communication is key. You know, if a phone number is there, you call it, you text it, you know, always be respectful, you know, because people are busy, people are working in offices, people are having meetings. So, you know, be aware of that. I always, you know, try not to call more than one time, leave a message. They usually get back to you very fast, but if don't have a phone number, you know, I hunt you guys down. You guys hunt down Easy Catering, you know, we get it done. We have to. You know, communication is key number one in something like this.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, Felipe, because I think everybody could benefit from understanding how maybe you would deal with some of the problems you run into in the field. So you don't have a phone number, what do you do? Or, you know, you can't find the customer, or, you know, sometimes the DeliverThat line gets really busy too. So maybe you can't get through to us right away. I mean, I know how that goes. What do you do to troubleshoot those problems? Do you have any tips? You just look it up online, or what do you do?
Well, yeah, first of all, so we have a computer on our pockets. That I first try to do, search up the number of the business, the name, make sure that the address is correct with the online address, all those things. But also asking people around, you know, if you're somewhere, there's always a security guard. There's always a maintenance person, and they have better information than you. They're there every single day. So I ask everybody I see. Hey, do you know this business? Hey, do you know this person? Hey, I'm looking for so-and-so. And 80% of the time, someone's going to help you, or if they don't know, they will know someone who will know.
Right. See, that's the thing. This is what me and Ben preach all the time, and just I love hearing it come from you as well. Is you're going out there. You know you got a job to do. You know we have people call us sometimes, and they're like, they don't even get out of the car. They're like, oh, I don't know. You know, or which I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like, okay, well, you got to step out of the car, try to talk to somebody. I know, we need to do better on our end of some things and getting you more information, or and fixing those bugs and those issues that arise. But like you're saying, you got to go out there and you got to get it done. You got to talk to people. You got to put yourself in the mix.
Yes, no, and at the end of the day, if you want to maximize your profit, if you want to make that money, the faster you knock out the deliveries, the more opportunity you get more deliveries for the same day, you know? So if you're going to be taking your time to get there, sitting in your car until the pickup time, if you get there 5 minutes early, get out of the car. Hey, I'm here. Hey, listen, I'm here. Let it be known, so if they are running a little bit late, hey, the driver's already here. The restaurants to push this out really fast, so you have to do that, man, you have to be active. This is a kind of job where if you're not hungry for it, if you're not gonna get it, you're not gonna be able to pay your bills.
Yeah.
If you're not out there getting there early, trying to get 3-4 orders a day, trying to get your orders out before the drop off times, before the pickup times, you're just you're not gonna make it.
And that's honestly, this is a great segue into one of our next questions. Like we're talking about, you're going out there and you're getting after it and you're getting the job done. And, a lot of times the gig economy will attract people who, definitely don't really want to work that much, or don't want to work a 9 to 5, which is great. But then sometimes people might be a little bit lazy, or they don't want to put the work in because they don't think it's a real job and things like that. But as a delivery driver working in the gig economy, what do you think the reputation is on your end of delivery drivers from maybe in outside parties, things like that?
Well, it's Miami's just a little bit of a different world,
Mm-hmm.
I know Ben saw all the scooters there just in front of Coyo Taco.
Yeah.
And that was just Coyo Taco. You know what I'm saying? It was like 100 drivers there
that's like how
at a time, like circling around like sharks,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
trying to get those orders. So out here it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but man, if you're persistent and you're out there and you want it, you will find it.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that there's a big market in the city, and there's just so much people that they're ordering food, and the thing is too, I feel like us as the caterer drivers, I feel like we have a better reputation also than maybe some smaller delivery companies do, like Uber Eats and DoorDash and things like that. Because I've ordered from DoorDash a couple times, and my food can be excuse me, my food can be warmer, missing items half the time. 90% of the time it said someone's coming and a different person shows up. it's all these things. So I don't think that we have honestly a bad reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as from the things that I've heard, we have a lot of repeat customers, not just from from Coyo Taco, but from a lot of restaurants that I noticed that we have a lot of office buildings and like the same hospitals that order constantly every single day, that I see that they're ordering the same doctor. So I would say that at least from what I see we have a pretty good reputation down here.
Well, when you put yourself out there like you do, and you have, this bright attitude, and you treat people with respect, just that's how you make connections. That's how that's how people respect you, and that's how you built that connection with Alicia from Coyo Taco, just by being yourself, by being open, and going out there and getting after it. So,
what about like obviously we talked about the not having like customer information, things like that, but what about when things aren't set up for success? So like what if you have a store delay and you know you're going to arrive to a customer late, or you didn't have that information and you're given a wrong address. So now you're going to be 15, 30 minutes late to a customer after you get the correct address. And obviously I know personally, because I met you face to face, and he kind of has a very similar personality like Mignon. Like you meet Felipe and it's contagious. Like that you feel the energy. You see the smile, you see like the upbeat, personality. And it's like you immediately like want to reciprocate that energy. So I just want to hear from you, like when you get to an office building and you're late, you already know the vibe. When you walk in, these people are probably a little pissed off. They wanted to eat 30 minutes ago. How do you handle that situation? Do you, maybe you can just answer from there. How would you handle a situation like that?
No, absolutely. First of all, when you already know you're going to be late before you even leave the restaurant, or because of traffic, because of wrong address, you have to call the customer. Communication is key. So you call them, you apologize, you say, I'm so sorry, I'm going to get there as fast as I can, and you try to do what you can. Sometimes it's just out of your hand, out of your control, but the customer is more appreciative and more understanding when you call them before you got there. Because if you just show up 45 minutes late, like, hey, I'm here, they're like, hey, what happened?
Yeah.
If you call them, you tell them, hey, this is already happening. Hey, I'm seeing a little bit of traffic. Hey, I just caught the train. Hey, the bridge just went up. I'm gonna be 15 minutes late. Most of the time, they really don't have a problem with it. I don't recall like a certain situation where I've been to a customer late and they've been actually like mad. Most of the time, they're like, hey, we understand. It's okay. It happens. And everyone knows it's Miami.
Right.
Something called here Cuban time. So 80% of the restaurants, the people in the streets, traffic, everything runs on Miami time. So most of the time, I don't think they expect us to get there right on the dot. So
I think
most of the time, yeah.
I think you're the first driver who's ever said, I don't recall a situation where I show up and the customer's actually mad.
mad where they seem mad on their face, or they tell me something. No, I don't think I've ever had like a bad delivery or a bad experience with a customer. Never.
Yeah, it's got to be because you give them the heads up. You let them know that everybody just wants to know what's going on. When things are out of your control, it is what it is, but you just got to let them know, like you said.
No, when you get there, you apologize, you try to tell them I'm so sorry, and never had an issue with it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Yeah, I couldn't have said better. Yeah, just the communication. He said it at the beginning of the interview and just said it again. The communication is probably the greatest key to all of this. Communication with DeliverThat, communication with the customer, communication with the restaurant, transparency on the situation. It's gonna relieve a lot of issues 9 out of 10 times. What let's get into the trip, I guess. Now we kind of breeze through the questions we typically start off with. What about? So we were just down in Miami. Well, we started in Fort Lauderdale and came down to Miami the second day. Met up with Felipe, and he was there for the recruiting event we had. Helped us out, which is very helpful. We had a couple individuals who only spoke Spanish show up, and Felipe was there kind of as our like laissez.
That's awesome,
interpreter.
Felipe, by the way.
So
thank you.
I think he legitimately helped us onboard a couple brand new drivers who only speak Spanish, and unfortunately, we're kind of a little behind the times. We're trying to hire people who are bilingual, but right now, for the most part, we usually just use like a Google Translate to like text them back and forth. Mm-hmm. That's legitimately what we do.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, it does. It works for the most part. I don't think there's ever too many miscommunications. But how'd you feel about the event? What did you think that was like a cool thing that we were doing down there? Did you like meeting the people? Did you feel like the recruiting event itself was something fruitful that DeliverThat could do in other markets, or what was your perspective on it?
Yeah, I had a great time, man. I wish you guys were here for longer.
Same.
Honestly,
Same.
that's my opinion. I wish you guys were here for a couple days longer. I wish more of you guys would have came down. It was beautiful, man. I loved the event. I know it was a crazy weekend. I know it was Easter weekend and
Yeah, that's
everything.
true.
But it was Easter weekend, but man, I'm really happy you guys came down. I had a beautiful time. Honestly, I love the event. I hope you guys do it again very soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just tell them to bring me next time. All right.
Yes. If you guys don't bring Tristan, I'm not coming next time.
There we go.
I think Alicia said
Flip
that.
it.
Alicia said the same thing about Cody too. I think
really?
So. Yeah, we'll
Clip it.
yeah, we'll see what happens there. That'll be a tough negotiation.
Yeah, and I'm so sad she wasn't there. I know she had a couple of things going on,
Right.
but hopefully she's there again too. So
Yeah, I think she was in Nashville. I think I think she had something else going on that she had previously committed to. But not big. I know, and we have spoken to her. I don't know, Felipe. Do you have any Coyo gear? Do you have like any of the shirts or anything?
No, she was gonna give me some, but they weren't my size. They were like extra large.
That's
But
what-
she is working on getting me some.
Yeah, that's what we're trying. We're trying to do a little swap and trade. They have some sick,
Oh.
just like the employees. They have like these shirts. They're sweet.
Yep.
They have sweet designs on them. They're so cool.
Yep.
And they do.
Yeah, you
like,
should talk to her. Maybe you guys can do a collab with DeliverThat.
Yeah, well,
You should talk to her.
we did that Coyo video collab, which is kind of like a very loose collaboration. But yeah, we should some merch collab would be a sweet idea.
Beautiful.
Jim's
Yes,
our
sir.
merchandise guy. You saw some of those Coyo? Are you thinking about putting something together
Yeah,
like
they
that?
said they sell out like super fast.
Is it that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is it?
Yeah.
Well,
Hats. They have hoodies.
yeah,
They have lighters.
yeah. Specifically, they just did for April. They did a 420 release. They
Yeah.
did like rolling papers, like grinders, rolling trays, and they just gave it all out for free. They just
Yeah.
gave it to customers, didn't charge
Rolling
anything.
trays?
Yeah, like they gave out shirts, everything. So we tried to get on that, and we were a little delayed and missed the window. But I'm pretty sure they do this kind of stuff for like a ton of holidays. So we just got to
Every
get on the
season.
next wave. Is what's got to happen.
Wow, what
Yes,
a cool
every
company.
season for holidays, for events like that, they always they do the best merch. They really do. They are. I'm telling you, they're something else. They're really straight out of Miami. They're the top of the top.
Yeah, I mean they're the only partner we have who's like international. Like they're in Europe, they're in all those. They're in like Spain, all those.
Belize.
Yeah, all those countries. So unbelievable from them. I love them. Yeah, I love their marketing team. Love their brand and the food. The food was so good. Tristan, I tell you these tacos. We have like places, Felipe. You probably haven't heard of them, but we have places like there's like Barrio and like Condado, which is like they're like predominantly like taco joints. Like you go there and you like can customize tacos, or they have tacos on the menu you order. These tacos from Coyo Taco, man, when I tell you, not even the tacos. The first night at our meet and greet, they had cheese quesadillas, and they had Chipotle. I was gonna say au. I was gonna say Chipotle au. Chipotle aioli. I was dipping these cheese quesadillas in the Chipotle aioli.
Homemade.
It was
Homemade.
unbelievable. Yeah, dude. That's probably a big factor too, Felipe. Like
they
you
make
said,
everything there in the restaurant.
right in the video we show them. We got there for the recruiting event that morning. The woman, like one of the main women who was on site, she's literally like taking like I don't know if it's dough that you make like taco shells from. I don't want to sound like stupid here, but she was taking like dough, putting it in a pressing it so it's flat, and then throwing it on the stove, and they're cooking the
In
taco
the perfect
shells
size.
every day in person.
Oh, that's probably so good.
All day. Yes, they do that all day. That they have someone there just to do that all day. That's someone's position.
Fresh chips.
From restaurant open to closing.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're making chips fresh on site. Yeah, I had a grouper taco, which is like a fish taco you can't get up here in Ohio. It was so good. Jim had what's it called when you dip it, Felipe?
The birria.
The birria. Yeah, the
tacos.
birria taco. Yeah, those. I think those are getting really popular like all over the United States lately too. So those are super, super good.
But they have it's a different world. There I don't know who comes up with their menu, but wow, their taste palette is out of this world.
Wow. So you guys
really
are
is.
talking a lot about tacos, but did you guys get after it in that speakeasy?
We actually didn't.
No.
I don't even know if I saw it. It was so Alicia wasn't there, like Felipe said. So some of the stuff was kind of back ended. We didn't have as great a communication when we actually got there. But everything was set up very well. Like she set up the delivery very well. She notified the customer. So when we got there to record and everything, they were super cool with it. Didn't care at all. Had a great setup. Obviously, you can see Felipe got like second in the setup contest picture and the picture contest for it.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
yeah,
Congratulations.
we presented that for the April in the news.
Yeah.
So yes, that was amazing. But yeah, everything else was so nice. Yeah, the only thing we didn't get, I think, was the speakeasy. Yeah.
They didn't even have a margarita or anything?
I tried, we had a couple beers they have beers on tap at the Coyo Tacos as well. So we had a couple beers. Felipe paid for a couple beers. We appreciate that.
Ice cold.
I tried, what's that pineapple drink I called Felipe? I tried Felipe. You remember what that was called? Hold on. I have a picture of it on my phone.
Was it a mojito?
No.
Oh, jarrito.
Yeah,
He tried a jarrito.
Yeah. They're like fruit. It's like a soda. It's a
soda.
soda, but they're like fruit juice flavors. So it was like pineapple, orange, like really fresh fruit juice flavors. I have a picture.
Yeah.
I'll send Jim the picture. You can pull this picture up. It's a really nice picture I took. It was so good. It was like the best soda I've ever had. It was so good.
Yeah.
How good are those chips?
Oh, they're amazing.
Guac, the
And their
salsas.
guac.
Yeah, they have a salsa bar like Moe's over here. They have the salsa bar. They have a fresh salsa bar. So good.
Dang, dude, I'm not. I don't have FOMO.
You're hungry, huh?
Yeah. We just ate all those chicken sandwiches, and I could eat 3 Coyo tacos right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
just becoming a little bit more
really
jealous as you keep talking. You know, I'm glad you had a good time, but
Well, now we're like, this is like I've spoken to Felipe off and on like through text and everything. But we haven't spoken since and like rehashed the trip. So I feel like now we're like in rehash mode, and I'm just like pumped to talk about it and like share the experience with everyone because it was amazing. Just to get it. I like Jim. We talked about. We told Felipe when we got there. We left the office on Sunday morning. It was like 31 degrees and like snowing, and we landed in Fort Lauderdale and it was 80 degrees, bright sunny. Like you're right next to the beach. Yeah, we went to breakfast that morning. Ate breakfast across. Like literally, we were at a joint eating breakfast. There's the street, and then there's the beach. So we're literally like overlooking the beach. It was just unbelievable.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. This is somewhere where if you're gonna retire or if you want a little life change, this is a place to come. I will tell you that.
So you've been there for your whole life, right?
Yes, I was born in Cuba. I got here when I was 4. I left for a little bit to Barcelona for a year and a half with my mom and stuff, but there's nowhere like Miami.
Wow, I gotta come down. I wanted to move there. Like I used to live in Jupiter for like maybe like a year and a half. Like
they're a little bit up,
it's
right?
like an hour
up in
north,
Florida.
yeah, it's even a little bit farther than an hour, but it's north of West Palm Beach. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you gotta come.
I know.
He said no.
I
You
know.
gotta come to Miami.
But I loved Florida so
Different
much.
world.
You know, I was like, wow. I think I'll end up there for sure.
Well, good luck. How the rent is right now, it's crazy. I was seeing some bedrooms, right? For the we have FIU, Florida International University, like right here, 2 miles away from my house, the FIU, right? So people around the area that we live in, like in the suburbs where there's pretty big houses. So a lot of people here that have like efficiencies where they cut out like parts of the house for the FIU kids or rent rooms. The rooms are going right now. I saw a house the other day it was a beautiful house with a nice pool, everything up. $1,300 a room.
Just for a room.
For a room.
Yeah, that's like I was talking to someone.
Dude, my rent right now is way less than that for a pretty nice apartment.
It's like a flat.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
It's tough.
I live in a townhouse, and I'm not gonna say how much I pay because it's ridiculous compared to everybody else. But have an amazing price and not moving from here for a couple
years.
years.
Pass up, I bet.
Yeah.
Tough to pass up.
Oh, I'm staying here for a couple years.
For sure. I do. We should probably circulate back into a bill of the delivery space. We went off on a little trip tangent, which I don't mind. It was good, great content. I appreciate talking about. But
what else you got?
I just want to talk about the process of the delivery we took with Felipe because when we got there to load up, Coyo Taco. I don't know what the order size of that order we took was. Maybe like $600-700 or something like that.
Yes,
but,
it was pretty big. Yes.
It was a good amount of food. And Felipe shows up. He's got to deliver that bag. He's looking good. Got to deliver that shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
The guy busts out a cart immediately. And we've talked about this on previous episodes with almost every driver we talk about. The cart is like it's a key. Do you have any other equipment you use like that you think is just like makes everything that much easier for your process delivering?
Honestly, with the bags in the cart, for me, it's more than enough. You remember my cart? I actually saw one on Amazon that's like twice the size. So I'm looking into that. So mine already fits. I can fit on mine comfortably, like $400 or $500 worth of Coyo Taco, comfortably on my cart in one trip. So that's most of the size of the orders in one. But sometimes, you want to have a little bit more room. The other one's a little bit sturdy. So I'm seeing if I can invest in the bigger one. But yeah, you honestly, if you're gonna be doing this day in and day out, you have to invest in yourself. And unless you want to be making 15 trips and going in and out of elevators 15 times, like I said, the faster you get it done, faster you have more availability time to take more orders, to get them done faster, and overall you make more money.
Yeah, I think every driver we've interviewed, it's obviously a fairly successful driver, and they all have a cart.
Yeah,
all of
that's
them.
a fact.
So if anybody watches these episodes consistently and you don't have a cart yet, I don't know what you're doing.
IDeliverThat.com/shop.
Yep.
/shop.
I mean, you can even check out Amazon.
Yeah, check out Amazon. Like Felipe said, yeah, it might be cheaper, it might be better. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, definitely not better. Nothing.
Who knows?
Oh, Jim's got good taste. You know, he picked that stuff out. Right, Jim? High quality. Only
Jim?
the best. Okay.
Cool. I don't got a lot more. Felipe, you got anything on your mind? Anything about DeliverThat? Any questions for Tristan? You guys are just meeting. Anything you'd like to ask the office? You can ask any questions about operations within the office. I know you text us all the time. We were texting literally this morning. I think yesterday morning, back and forth. So
Yes. No, man. Honestly, I know you showed me the office the other day. I was telling you, it looks beautiful, man.
I forgot I did show that. Yeah.
It really does look amazing. You guys look like you guys are crushing it there, man. I'm happy to see you guys grow more and more every day. The more you guys grow, the more the drivers can grow. You know, and it's just I'm just really, like I was saying to you guys earlier in the beginning. You know, I really appreciate you guys doing this. You know, because it's just something that changes people's lives for real. People can have. How can I say this? I'm a firm believer. I know I'm young. I'm only 23, but I feel like I learned very early in life that I prefer time over money.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to live with maybe not the bare necessities, but you know, I don't need an extravagant lifestyle, and I prefer to live with what I can live and have more time to just enjoy the little bit of time I have on this earth. You know, because
well said.
You know, you only come here once. So if you know, okay, so like I was getting back to that, I'm young, right? I was doing the math one day in my head, right? If you work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, you only get Saturday and Sunday off, right? There's 53 weeks in a year, 52 weeks, right? That's about 100 days off.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do that by, let's say, 30 years, you know, which is a long time, the numbers weren't adding up for me.
For sure.
You know?
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
I'd also being able to do this, being able to pay my bills, being able to support my family, having fun while I'm doing it, and not feeling like, oh, I'm going to work today. You know, I get up in the morning, get my coffee, getting ready, want to make sure I look presentable for everybody. And man, it just feels great. It feels great to be able to take my kids to school, pick them up from school, go to all the events. If my kids are sick, be able to take the day off and no one's calling me. Oh, you know, it's amazing. And I'm just very grateful for you guys in changing people's lives, just making my life better. I'm honestly very grateful. Very, very grateful.
Well, thanks so much, Felipe. And I do want to say, and like 100% honesty, though, the only reason we can do this is because of people like you. You know what I mean? It's literally, like I said earlier, it literally is a team effort, you know, to have drivers out there like you are putting the effort in, putting a good face on for the company. It keeps everybody afloat. That's the reason me and Ben, Jim, everybody in here has jobs, is because the drivers, you know, so we all just work together, and we're just as grateful for you guys. I mean,
without a doubt.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Without a doubt. How many, you mentioned coffee there. How many coladas you had today, Felipe?
Oh, I've only had one today. It's too early. It's too early. I still got to go to Coyo Taco. I might grab one on the way over there.
I was just telling Tristan about him before you came in here. I was telling him about the coladas and the croquetas.
Yeah. I never had one. It sounds good, though.
Oh, man. You need to have a colada.
Yeah. I told him you gotta text me over that the coffee that you get so we can buy it off Amazon. Yeah.
I will. I'll send you the link to the coffee we drink here in Miami too, Bustelo.
Yeah, and then I can whip it up for him. He taught me how to make it too. I can whip it up for him.
I don't know if I trust Ben making it.
No, I remember. You gotta wait till it foams up, and then you pour it up. I remember.
Yep.
We're gonna be FaceTiming
I'm gonna send you a video anyways of me doing it, but you're gonna get it. I'm gonna send you a video of me doing it. We're gonna whip it up.
We'll be calling you on the video call. Like, hey, Felipe, can you make sure Ben's right? I don't want to ruin my first experience.
Just make sure there's water in it, because you know what happened to my mom one day? She woke up half asleep. She's been doing this for like 40 years, so I don't know what happened to her that morning. She forgot to put water on the bottom, and she put it on the stove without water. Boom.
Just blew up.
Coffee grounds everywhere. She said she's lucky that it didn't like damage her cupboards in her kitchen or
Yeah,
anything.
did it just break everywhere?
Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah.
blew up, yeah.
Oh yeah. That's tough.
No wonder
Yeah,
it's
so make sure there's water in it, okay? Just please make sure there's water
Yeah,
in
we'll
it.
make sure. We'll make sure. All
it's
right.
literally bomb.
All right, man. Well, shoot. I think that wraps it up. You guys just said it, but we appreciate everything you're doing out there for us. I know DeliverThat appreciates it. I know Coyo Taco
Thank you,
appreciates
guys.
it. I know Easy Cater appreciates it. So thank you again, and hopefully we see you soon, man. I will try to find the time in the company. What, Jim, was it the budget? Yeah, the company budget. Yeah, we'll try and budget out another trip to Miami as soon as we can.
Okay, well, like I said, if Tristan's not there, you don't even think about seeing me.
Word up, Felipe. Let's go.
All right, bro.
All right, so there better be space for Tristan in the budget.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
figure it
Send
out.
that over to the boss.
All
Flip
right,
it.
bro.
All right.
All right, man.
Hey, man.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.
No, thank you guys for having me. I'm really grateful for you guys, man. Have a beautiful day for you guys. Blessings to you guys and the family.
Man, you got to love a guy with that enthusiasm.
I'm gonna tell you what. See, when we get this office on that culata, we're gonna be running a tight ship.
Can you say that again?
Culata.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I try my best. I think we mentioned I can't really roll my R's, but I gotta. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I try to talk with an accent because I don't think that's appropriate. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when you're speaking in a using a language, I feel like it's not bad to try to say it correctly, and sometimes that comes with a little bit of an accent.
Yeah, and it's like when you learn Spanish or any other language appropriately, like you always got to try to talk like the native speakers too, right? So like when people speak English, like Europeans, like they make fun of like Texans, will be like, and they like try I got my guns. Like, you talk about like all that shit, so it's just like gets out of hand.
Yeah, I agree. But I gotta say, man, Felipe, he seems like he's got a pretty good life. He seems very happy with where he's at. Especially, he says mostly just doing DeliverThat. But overall, he lives in a good place. You could see his enthusiasm. He had a lot of good stuff to share. It's just nice to see somebody who's just really happy, working with DeliverThat.
Yeah, anyone who can keep that kind of attitude doing gig delivery, especially like we talk about all the time. There's so many. You got restaurant wait times, you got bad customer phone numbers, bad delivery info. It can be so easy to get very frustrated and very caught up in all the negatives that happen on our side of things and the driver side of things. So for someone to bring that kind of energy and be so positive, and his outlook is otherworldly almost at times. He's so bought into what we're doing and what he's doing on his end, and in that relationship he has with Alicia and Coyo Taco. I mean, he could take that thing to the moon. I already forget if we talked about in the interview or not, but they treated him to dinner. I think we talked about it towards the end, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to a concert, going to dinner on Coyo Taco for the work he did for us on that Florida trip. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows that the main ingredient for success really can be attitude, and he's got the attitude to build that relationship with Alicia, to get out there and get it done.
And we're gonna bring up attitude. And I think that's a good segue. Let's we got another meet the team.
Do they have attitude?
He's got the right attitude.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
He's got the right attitude, and that is our boy, Layton W. Hoover. What's your middle name?
Parker.
Layton P. Hoover.
Welcome to the show, Layton.
Glad to be here, guys.
It's good to see you, dude.
Look,
Very good to see you. It's good to see you on the other side.
Yeah.
You don't come over here often.
Not only to come grab you or Cody.
yeah,
Yeah, those are never good grabs. It's unfortunate, but yeah, no, I love having you over here. And another, but we can touch on the attitude. I know this guy. So similar. We haven't done Nate's meet the team. Nate is in the producer chair right now, doing a little pre-producer work.
great job, Nate.
But both these cats were our first. Not our first, maybe our set, because we had Blake's brother. What's Blake's brother's name?
Starts with a B too.
Brett was an intern, and then he only ever interned though. I don't think he ever made his way to an employee.
Mhm.
These two would be our first interns turned employees.
Yep.
Full-time employees, and I do want to kind of start there. So, so you interned in 20 because your initial hire date is May 13th, 2020. We just celebrated your 1 year, like a
2
couple
year.
days ago, or 2 years. Yeah, I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yep.
A couple days ago. Congrats. Tristan and I brought you Chick-fil-A.
Yep, the deluxe sandwich.
Hell yeah.
Yep, it was good.
And fries.
Never had Chick-fil-A with cheese on it, so that was a
What?
good one.
This guy, you gotta get the pepper jack. I always go pepper jack.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's my
We
go-to.
we didn't go check pepper jack, did we?
I think we just went whatever they go with.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
it was
always get
normal
the
American.
spicy deluxe, which comes with pepper jack.
Oh, okay.
And that's my go-to. But yeah, so let's start in the internship realm. So we're talking, I don't know, when was it? Was it your spring semester of 2019?
Right after. So it was 2020, May of 2020. Right after I did 3 years of college, graduated in 3. So right after my second year, I needed an internship to graduate after my senior year. So talked to Christian and came on in May of 2020, like right after COVID, pretty much hit like 2 months after.
Yeah, he is another employee that had close-knit ties with someone and got himself into the building. So how'd you, Christian, you grew up together? I know you're really good friends with his brother.
Yeah. So his brother Colby is like my best friend. And we were the same grade, went to the same, high school together and everything. And it was honestly just one night I was hanging over there at Colby's. We were all just sitting around at his house, and I brought up how I needed an internship, and he was like, well, you should come work at DeliverThat. We could get you an internship. I was like, yeah, man, I'd love to. He's talked about Easy Cater and a bunch of different things, how great of an opportunity it was. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And after about 2-3 months of silence, didn't hear anything from Chill. I thought I was running out of options. I started looking at other places to internship.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I got a text from him saying, hey, if you're still wanting to do that, let's do it. So went through the process with my school, got all the paperwork done, and started up here.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, take us back there though so you were going to school. What were you going to school for?
Business management major, and then my minor was in entrepreneurship.
Business management, entrepreneurship. So then you come in here and you intern, and you're doing a lot of logistics stuff, right?
Yeah, so pretty much when I started out, like I said, it was like right at the COVID point. So
oh wow, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of crazy logistics, obviously the basics of logistics, but it was more just learning the basics and simple things of the company.
Mm-hmm.
There's a delivery 45 minutes south of Columbus, and Ben goes, hey man, find a driver for this. And just getting used to how to talk to drivers on the phone, learning how much you can add, as incentive to orders, just those, simple things, learning the basics of the company.
Okay, so you also had the experience of being under Ben's umbrella. so you know what that was like.
Yeah, it was a good time.
That was what I call a growing pain.
Well, I actually attribute a lot of my experience to Ben. I mean, he helped me, I think, out a lot of getting to where I'm at, because he's one of the smartest people I've ever met within the company of knowing the business. So, yeah, there's some growing pains, but definitely a lot of good things too.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta step in here a little bit and make sure this conversation doesn't get too haywire. But I know Layton usually he thanks me all the time, and I do not need any thanks whatsoever. I think this guy would have been a rock star no matter what he came here and did. That's without a doubt. But usually, you always say something along the lines of like, if there's a delivery unassigned or something, or there's a routing problem, I'd just be like, all right, like figure it out.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like always what my go-to was. Cause it's like, I can obviously sit there and like walk you through what to do, but it's like, if I'm not here, what are you going to do about it? Like you have to, at some point you have to pick up the reins and just handle it yourself. So like, that's how I kind of always am, which could be a negative or a positive, but I'm always like, just figure it out yourself. And we always tell people when they're training with us is you're never going to make a mistake that costs us a restaurant relationship or costs us like thousands of dollars or ruins like a driver's experience. You know what I mean? So mistakes on our end are made every single day by all of us, by Tristan, by me, by Layton still, by Nate, by Jim, by whoever. So to have a trainee come in and you just like tell them like, hey, figure it out. And if they make the wrong decision, that's when you sit down later on and you're like, hey, I appreciate you putting your best foot forward and doing what you think was best there, but this is what you should have done and this is why. And then you can like walk it backwards from there. I think that's kind of the approach I always like to take it with.
Yeah, it's always try and then catch the errors afterwards. But you're right. You said he was capable of taking the reins on his own, and obviously we'll get into how he has done so. But Layton, what about you come in here, you intern. How long was your internship first of all?
Just throughout that summer, so about 3 to 4 months. And
then what happens in between the internship and that you eventually come on, full time? What happens in between there?
So I came on part time then my senior year of college. Okay. My last year of college, I had a little talk with everyone. My last day of my internship, I had like a 3-week break in between my internship and starting part time. and just pretty much told everyone how much I loved being here and the environment, and how much everyone's helped me, grow as a business major and also as a man. And after that talk, talking to some of the people, Christian brought up, said, "Hey, I don't want you to leave. You want to stay part-time while you're in school?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." I was working 2 jobs that whole summer here and at my other job. And yeah, I told the other job bye and stayed here and was working part-time while I was a senior in college.
How did you feel about, because when you were working part-time and then when you came out full-time, how did you feel? So you went to school for business management, entrepreneurship, and then you came in here and you worked something that was quite different from what you went to school for. Why were you okay with that? Why did you stay? And yeah, just how did you feel about that in general?
Well, my end goal was always to become like a manager type of person. So to go for business management, I wanted to get a management job at some point
Right.
coming out of college, just because I felt like that was something that was more of my calling. And I knew I would have the opportunity here if I really put the work in and did that. And yeah, that was kind of the main decision. And other job was working in the back of a garage, loading trailers up on trucks, a little local Wayne County small town job.
Mhm.
So no
Big-
real
big
potential
country.
there. Oh yeah, big country. Skid steers, Kubotas, excavators, all the good stuff. So yeah, I knew I wasn't going to stay there long term. I knew I could stay here long term and actually have potential. So it wasn't really much of a decision to me. It was the opportunities there and great people, great environment, and I liked the job, I liked the work, so why not take the opportunity?
And then, I mean, it evolved for you, and now your position now, you're a supervisor in the logistics department.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
So
Yep.
you've gotten to the first step of where you wanted to be, where you are a manager, you have managerial duties and things like that. And how do you feel? I mean, how do you feel about that? You're young. You're what, 24?
22.
22.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
even younger.
By far the youngest in the office.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
by like Nate, what are you? You're 24. 24. So yeah, by at minimum 2 years.
And you're a manager, right? So
Well,
you're,
I don't. How do we know how old's Fiona? She's in.
She's like 26, 25. She's
Okay,
older
okay,
than Nate,
okay.
yeah.
okay. So then, yeah, you're a young guy and you're a manager, and obviously you showed what it took to get there. I mean, I'm sure your schooling helped quite a bit. I think that's pretty awesome. I mean,
And
22-year-old
I do
manager.
want to say too, it's not like he came in and was just like given a supervisor role. He did the grunt work. I mean, when you
does.
when you were hired full time, I think for a year basically, right? You're the night guy. So
Yep.
and that's always very tough for a lot of people when you come into this environment. You're here in the daytime. It's kind of high energy, a lot of talking, a lot of shouting back and forth, and then you kind of get sent into like this abyss where it's like now you're at night, you're working 3 to 10, you're literally by yourself, you're taking phone calls, handling texts, everything's done alone. It's kind of you almost don't feel like the same connection you do to everyone. Was that difficult? How did that feel?
Yeah, so that affected me more when I was still part-time because I came on as nighttime when I was part-time to help Mitch out. He was still over in Phoenix,
Oh, yeah,
doing the
yeah.
nighttime duties. Yeah. So that actually started affecting me then because my first semester, my senior year, when I started part-time, I was commuting up to Ashland, which is like 45 minutes away from where I was living at my parents' house. And then I'd go home for like 30 minutes, quick, get whatever food, shower. Then I'd commute 40 minutes up here, and then I'd spend the whole time in the office by myself with no one else here. And yeah, it's completely different, like you said, from daytime. High energy, shouting things back and forth. I mean, that's honestly part of the reason I was so excited about the job was in my interview. I sat down and saw how it was, and I was like, this is like Wolf of Wall Street. Like this is it. So going in the nighttime there, that was the biggest growing pain with all that commuting. But then my second semester, I started to work remotely nighttime, and that was a little bit easier,
Right.
not having to do all that back and forth driving.
Yeah, because that was what, 40 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yeah, 40 minutes from my house, and like I said, I was commuting 40 minutes to school, so it was like 3 hours of commuting every day between
Wow.
work and school.
Talk about grunt work.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
It's
got
tough.
got up here full time, and I was pretty much the only one on at nights at that time. Was considered the nighttime supervisor, and yeah, just slowly worked until I could find an opportunity to get into the daytime. That was always my goal. Nighttime was the opportunity. It was the opening for the supervisor position, so I just took it and said, all right, let's do what I can now. Let's work as hard as I can so I can get the next opportunity to be in here in the daytime and hopefully influence more people.
But see, that's the reason too that I think that you did grow so fast is because you took on a role that obviously most people did not want and was absolutely necessary. And when it came to the point, when I was a supervisor too, like you knew so much more about an aspect of business that I knew nothing about, and that was all the work in the processes and things that happen at nighttime. So it was super crucial. I mean, that's how you're 22 years old and a manager at DeliverThat
Yeah.
is because you did that work.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
In the nighttime, like I said, when you're the only one on, you have to know every little bit of what to do because you're the only one, you know? And it's crappy to call someone who's worked all day like Ben or you and say, hey, can you help me with this after you just worked, you know, an 8, 9, 10-hour shift? So, yeah, you just got to kind of learn every little piece of the business and go from there. So
Yep.
I attribute a lot of that to all the successes, having to do the nighttime. It teaches you a lot.
I kind of want to switch gears here a little bit. One thing, I don't know if we ask everybody this, but I just I feel like we should put this in this one. We haven't asked Layton about himself. You know what I mean? Like Layton, like you have siblings. Like where'd you grow up at? You know, things like what school did you go to? You know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I got 2 brothers, two older brothers.
Looks just like you, by the way.
Just like me.
Same beard,
Really?
same hair.
I never met him.
I mean, they're a little bigger than him.
Yep.
You know, they're older.
He's still got that rookie weight on him. You know, he hasn't put on the pounds yet. He's got a couple years.
Yeah. He's still developing.
Yeah, I got 2 older brothers. Yeah, we look very similar. Got that a lot throughout high school. Went to Dalton High School, a small school with, in my graduating class, we probably had 75 people, and I think we were one of the bigger classes. So real small class, small town, completely different environment than where I'm at now. Grew up about 10, 15 minutes outside of that in Orrville, Ohio. Still a small town, a little bit bigger than Dalton. But yeah, my mom was a teacher at Dalton, everything that way, and that's where I did all my high school and met Colby and got this whole opportunity.
I'll mention, I know he's a ball player. You're a big ball player growing up. Basketball, I believe, made a little baseball in there. How was the sporting career? How'd that go?
So I played 3 sports all the way through junior high. Quit football in my 8th grade year. Did not want to play in high school because 2-a-days, and I did not like the coach and all that. Wasn't a fan of all that.
Those scrawny legs ain't taking a hit, too.
Oh.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, we ain't getting past the 2-a-days. We'd be passed out on the
Let's
ground.
get a shot up there on the screen there, Nate. Those scrawny legs. No.
But yeah, played basketball up until my junior year of high school, and then when our head coach moved on, I chose not to, return for my senior year. I chose to actually work more too. Was trying to pick up more hours at my other job in high school, and played baseball all 4 years throughout high school.
Oh dang. Really? I did not know that.
You guys were pretty good squad too, right? I think I remember you telling stories about the squad you had. You guys were like state tournament squad, or?
Yeah, my junior year. So we were actually pretty much a 500 team my junior year, and we were like, I think the lowest or second lowest seed in the tournament when it first started. And we went on like a 9-game win streak throughout the tournament and got all the way to the state finals.
Oh yeah.
Final 4 actually, I should say, and we lost to that by 1 run in the 7th inning by, I won't really throw anybody under the bus, but a pitcher who quit on us, our starting pitcher. So
Yeah, James, right? Is that his name? Call him out right now.
nah, I'm not gonna
Okay.
throw out the name, but
It reminds me of like a Patrick.
Patrick?
Sounds like
Yeah.
a Patrick.
Patrick, what the hell? All right, so one thing I got to say is, and I could be completely wrong about this, but I think everybody here, when you think about Worcester and Orrville, you're thinking country, right? You're thinking straight up. So, like, you're not, like if you look at you face value, you don't seem like a country boy at all, to be honest. But
That
I'm
beard's
sure
pretty country.
I'm sure you have country tendencies. Like, did you go to school with a lot of people who were like farmers? Like, they had, they had pigs and
oh yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
I mean, Christian's brother, my best friend, he literally is a butcher. I used to go back to his barn and watch him, round up all the hogs and all the beef and weigh the beef and all that. So
And kill them, right?
oh yeah, he did everything. So
Don't leave that out. You're scarred. What's the most country thing about you?
well, I love country music.
Okay.
Don't know how many people know that. I feel like a good amount know that here, though. I love my country music.
I did not know that.
Yeah, if I'm the only one in the office in the morning, that's what I'm blaring on the speaker to get me going.
Thank God he's the only one.
Country Fest went to it last year, going
That's what
again
I was
this
waiting
year.
for him to bring it
Oh,
up.
that's right.
I knew
He
it
goes
was
to
coming.
Country
I knew
Fest.
it was coming.
Country Fest going to be a part of that again this year. It's a good time, just sitting out in a camper and drinking beers, hanging with some friends and some people. So yeah, a lot like my country music. Used to go mudding a lot with friends out in the woods and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you really live that life.
Yeah, he's a good old boy.
Yeah.
He's a good old boy. Did you don't have any? You have any like farm animals? Where you like you didn't have any?
No, my family is not that country. It's just from the environment you're around, and stuff's a good time. I mean, people might throw knocks on it, but it's a good time.
Oh,
So-
I mean,
Especially
yeah.
because we grew up. we grew up in a school where like you don't even like know half your class. So like he's talking about like you literally know and grew up. You like how many kids are in your class? Like 85, like
75. Yeah.
right.
Oh my gosh, we had
Right.
500.
Yeah, we had over
Yeah.
500. So like we're graduating. They were announcing kids' names at our graduation, and I was like, I've literally never seen that kid or heard his name in my entire life.
Oh yeah.
Not-
you,
not-
And you went
not
to
a
school with him
single
for
time.
12 years.
Yeah, not a single time did I know who that was.
yeah, it's completely different lifestyle. I mean, you know everyone from seniors to freshmen. I mean, you know literally everybody in the whole school, families, you know whose brother's this, all of it. You know literally everyone. It's a very community like tight knit type of feel.
Yeah, that's nice. I think that'd be pretty nice, especially and it's like what's Dalton or where you went to Dalton, right? So was
Yeah,
that
Dalton.
like D5?
I mean, football we're D7,
Yeah, so,
basketball
I mean,
and
you're
baseball
just-
we're D4.
I'm putting up all American stats against kids. So I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right
Oh
now.
my god.
I mean, I'm telling you right now. I got a list on like two hands the kids that we played that are in the NFL now. If I was playing kids from freaking Dalton High School, I would have been an all-American running back. And I didn't play offense a single down in my high school career. I ran all over those kids.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we had some pretty good athletes. You get some big country boys out there too.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
Some
Yeah,
those
they're
big
people
boys.
round up
throwing those
hogs.
hay bales. All day.
Yeah.
To, like, get that strength up.
They've been wrestling hogs.
I didn't mean to cut you off, T.
You're
I just
good.
wanted to bring it back a little bit because one thing I really wanted to touch on, maybe, I don't know if you got a lot, we can close it out here because I think we're probably running on, Nate, what we got, like 15, 20 minutes now? 20, yeah. So we should probably close it out here. But one thing I just want to talk about, and you can expand upon it as much as you want, Layton, but you did kind of start off talking about like DeliverThat kind of developing you as a man. And obviously we have the winners meeting and now you're in a managerial position. You brought on Erica yourself, trained her yourself. She's now the nighttime supervisor and does everything. We don't really have to check on her or reach out to her as much anymore.
Is
So
she?
I believe so. Is she not?
I don't think she's a supervisor title, but yeah, she runs the nighttime.
Yeah, I mean, she
100%.
More or less.
Yeah,
she runs.
100%.
She should be.
Gotcha.
She should have the supervisor title.
Yeah,
We can
she
at
pretty
least
much
say
has
that.
those duties.
But aside from that, though, so a lot of firsts, I guess, is what I wanted to get to at DeliverThat. So I mean, and I'm gonna list them off here. So first real life job.
Mhm.
I don't know about, was it the first internship, first and only internship?
Yep.
First
and only.
internship, first job out of high school, first managerial position, first apartment.
Yep.
First dog.
First
Yeah.
girlfriend.
First girlfriend.
Just kidding.
So just run. So
No,
just-
honestly,
I
yeah.
just want to. Can you run that? Like, what has it been like? So I mean, you started DeliverThat as a 20-year-old, and only 2 years later, all these things are now like developing in your life. Does it feel like all that much different from a couple years ago? Do you feel like otherworldly now? Do you feel like you've gained all this experience? Do you feel that internally?
To a degree, I mean, you still feel like the same kid. I mean, I
Right.
feel like we all always feel like the same kid that you always were. But I mean, it all came at me really fast. Growing up, getting all these positions, doing all this, like Chris said, first girlfriend, actual like real girlfriend, moving out together, all that. I mean, it hits you like a brick wall almost. So it was a lot to get used to, a lot of adjusting. But yeah, like I said, this company really helps develop you as a person. And from things, meeting with Darian, when I first started full time and having our own type of winners meeting where I was reading books and coming back to him with things, that caught my interest, or even things when I fail here, and I mess up, having someone like, Christian or Mitch just pull me in office and say, hey, this is why this is wrong. This is why we need to approach it that way. You apply those things more than just to the workplace. You apply it to your life. And a lot of those things, I feel like, is why I've been able to get to where I'm at with being able to move out and take on those, responsibilities and challenges, is because I have the people here who have had those experiences and are willing to give me their insight and support. And without that, yeah, it'd be a whole different world. I'd probably still be living with my parents. So
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I mean, yeah, this is a man who's loved by drivers, loved here in the office, and just does a killer job. So, thanks so much for coming on, Layton. But we need him to plug, don't we?
Yeah. He's got to end it. He's got to close it out.
You got to close
Gotta
it out.
close it out.
You know what the link is?
the link,
The link to the podcast.
I don't have that memorized.
All right,
no.
man. We're gonna cut this part out. ideliverthat.com/podcast. They can sign up to be a driver. They can
Submit questions.
submit questions and
Submit to be a guest on the podcast.
submit to be a guest on the podcast. Can you say that for us?
All right, so I deliver that.
Yeah, just give me a point.
.com/.
ideliverthat.com/podcast.
ideliverthat.com/podcast. Sign up to be a driver, ask to be on this, everything you want. ideliverthat.com podcast.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for plugging that, Layton, and thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate you, bro.